Now, I want to start with Little Rock and Mayor Scott Jr. The idea of being one of the most dangerous places, okay, in the country. How do you deal with that? And how do you identify what the main problem is for that designation?
Well, I think we first have to understand that perception in many people's eyes is reality. From a mayor's standpoint, we have to address reality first and foremost because we're the ones that receive the phone calls of a homicide, a battery assault, domestic violence. I can tell you right now, each homicide that's happened over the past 4.5 years that I've been in office. I can share with you, as someone who lives in more of a more crime-ridden area of the city, I don't feel unsafe. I can tell you that many residents may feel that same way, not feeling unsafe when you see that particular stat. However, there are some residents who do. And so what we have to do is always address the feeling of crime and the feeling of safety, irrespective of those statistics.
What's the biggest thing that has to be done in Little Rock?
The biggest thing, one, is really not one thing. It's a multitude of things. What we've been able to do to drive crime down, a -5% year over year, even violent crime, a -3% in overall crime. When you look at the past 5 years, a -1%. So we're driving crime down.
How?
We're doing it with a three-pronged approach. That three-pronged approach is targeted patrols in high-crime areas, number one. Number two, we focused on getting smarter on crime by funding through the American Rescue Plan Act, a real-time crime center, by putting additional eyes on the streets. Then number three is understanding that we have to really focus on prevention. And the best way to focus on prevention of crime, when you look at the statistics, you know that many of our youth and our young adults are committing most of the crime. And so we spent close to $7 million this past year on prevention and intervention treatment work. And then fourth, we also have to understand how mental health has really contributed to crime over the past 2 and 3 years. And so that's the reason why we now have a mental health unit within the Little Rock Police Department.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.